is going back to geometry, okay? Geometry, get it? Okay. So distance formula. The distance formula is when you have 2 points and you want to know how long that segment is between the two, right? And so to calculate that, we would use our distance formula. I'm going to write it on the bigger screen here in a minute, but this is where the distance formula came into play. So essentially, someone realized that when you are looking for the distance between 2 points, you're essentially using the Pythagorean theorem. Do we see that? I'm figuring out how much I went horizontally, and I'm figuring out how much I went vertically. I'm squaring them. And then the distance is your D. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And that's where the distance formula came from. So when you put it all together, you get this guy. So this is your distance formula. So if you did not know it, please write it down. Okay. So when you're given 2 points, you can find their distance, or if you're given the distance in 1 point, you can find the missing point. Does that make sense? So we have D equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Just to be very clear, in some places they may write it as D equals the square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Guess what? Because you're squaring, it doesn't matter. Either way, it's going to come out positive, okay? So it doesn't matter. What matters is that whatever you put first in the first binomial, you put first in the second binomial. So if you put your x1 first, its corresponding y1 has to be first in the next set, okay? Make sense? All right, let's put this formula to use. So here is our distance problem. So an example of the distance problem we have here. We want to know what is the exact distance between 3 and -4 and -2, 7. Then approximate the distance to the 100. So we're going to calculate that. When we say exact, that means that we're not going to plug anything in the calculator, okay? So when it says exact, this means we're doing nothing in the calculator yet. And then it says approximate. That means plug it in the calculator. Got it? All right. So here we go. So we're going to find D equals the square root. And I'm going to just do x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay? So this was my x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so now we're going to evaluate. -2 minus 3 is -5. -5 squared is 25, right? Positive 25, because a negative times a negative is a positive, okay? Next, we have a negative times a negative is a positive. So 7 plus 4 is 11, and 11 squared is 121. So we get D equals the square root of what is 25 plus 121. $146, right? The square root of 146. Okay. When you look at 146, 146 can only be broken down to be 73 times 2, right? 73 and 2 are both prime numbers. So this would be my exact answer. I cannot break this number down. I cannot simplify it because it breaks down to that. So this is your exact. So when it says exact, this is what it means. I can't simplify. I can't go any further. That's my exact. Okay. Then to find your approximate, you're going to put the square root of 146 in the calculator. That's your approximate. So finding your approximate means I actually take out the calculator. Let me pull up old girl Sylvie. Hey, girl. And we get second square root 146, and we get approximately 12.083. It says to round to the nearest hundred, so I'm just going to put 12.08. And that's my approximate value. Okay. How do you feel about finding the distance formula? Using the distance formula. Easy peasy? All right. Up next is another formula. It's the midpoint formula. Let me hide Sylvie. Okay. Up next is our midpoint formula. The midpoint of a segment with endpoints x1, y1, and x2, y2 can be found by using this lovely formula here. Okay. So we usually have this represented as a capital M. So M equals this guy. So it's the average between your x's and the average between your y's. Do we see that? Do you see why we started off with single variable? Because some of the things that you need to make sure you understood come back. So it's the mean between our x's and the mean between our y's. And that's your midpoint. Do you guys remember seeing this in Algebra 1 and geometry? Yes. Okay, so let's look at it. So we have here, find the midpoint of the line segment and connecting the points 6, -7, and -4, 6. So to find our midpoint, again, we're finding the average between our x's and the average between our y's. So we have 6 plus -4 divided by 2, comma, -7 plus 6 divided by 2. Okay, so that leads us to 6 minus 4 is 2. So 2 divided by 2. -7 plus 6 is 1. 1 divided by 2. So our midpoint is at, what's 2 divided by 2? 1. Because anything divided by itself is 1. So our midway point would be 1, comma, 1/2.
Can it be -1/2? It's negative
Yep.
plus 6 is -1.
Yep. Good job, guys. Way to go. Rock stars. Nope. Always question me. Okay. I'd rather me have to correct than you. All right. Midpoint. Questions about midpoint. That's all I got for you. All right.